how I use my 9 to 5 in corporate America to festival and travel the world and essentially live the life of my dreams. I figured this video is appropriate to make at this time because I am currently sitting in a hotel on a work trip for my new job. So a little background on me is I am a financial reporting accountant. My official title is a senior accountant. I just started a new job. I've been in accounting for 10 years. I have a bachelor's degree in accounting, and I figured I'd make this video because I've been one of the people that used to hate corporate America and hate the 9 to 5, and I've quit corporate America / accounting twice. I've kind of been on both ends of the spectrum, working a 9 to 5, but also quitting to pursue creative pursuits and live the more of like that girl boss / entrepreneurial life. Didn't make it all the way, but I've learned a lot of lessons. The first time I quit was in 2018, and it's 2025 now. So like I have learned so much since then that I feel like I need to share. It's a different day and age, right? And there's different ways of making money, and there are just new careers with the rise of social media. And so there's just like this huge drive for like quit the rat race, quit the 9 to 5, go and be a girl boss or go and start your own business. I've kind of done that, but also like that life isn't for everybody. So I'm here to share my experience, the lessons that I've learned, the mistakes that I've made, and why working a 9 to 5 honestly isn't the worst thing on the planet, and all the benefits of working a 9 to 5 for corporate America, because I'm still out here living the life of my dreams too. As you can tell, everything looks different. I am refilming the video that I filmed in that hotel because I did not like it. It wasn't structured well. I didn't flow. It was just kind of all over the place. So here we are refilming that, and that's okay. There were 7 big lessons that I've learned since 2018. That is when I quit corporate America for the first time. So I'm gonna drop the lessons down here, and then we're gonna deep dive into each one of them. Lesson number 1, you have to get what you thought you wanted to realize it's not what you actually wanted. Lesson number 2, you have to take a chance on something that you've always wanted to try, and if it works out, great, and if it doesn't, you can pivot or go back to what you know. Lesson number 3, take the path of least resistance when it comes to making money. Lesson number 4, respect the money that you make now in order for you to make more later. Lesson number 5, use your job as a means to an end to pursue your dreams. Lesson number 6, entrepreneurship isn't for everybody, and there are a lot of benefits to working a 9 to 5. And lesson number 7, if you have to work for somebody else, work for corporate America, work a 9 to 5, make sure that job is aligned with everything that you stand for. So a quick backstory on what transpired to get me here today. From 2018 through 2024, so 6 years, it was a lot of lessons to be learned, a lot of mistakes to be made, and I was living by Miss Frizzle's word of take chances, make mistakes, and get messy.
That's not a bad idea, Ralphie. Take chances, make mistakes.
In 2018, I quit accounting / corporate America for the first time because I wanted to take a big trip around the world, and I also wanted to pursue acting. And then I went back to work in 2019, again to corporate America and accounting. And then I quit again in 2022 because I was tired of it and I wanted to travel and I wanted to pursue like a job in social media. So I quit again. And then I made my return to corporate America at the beginning of 2023, and it is now 2025, and I have been in corporate America ever since. So I've hated corporate America, never wanted anything to do with it. When I quit the first time, I never thought I would make a return in 2019. And then when I quit again in 2022, I never thought I'd go back in 2023, but here I am. I keep quitting and coming back to corporate America. So there was a lot that transpired in between for me to learn all these lessons. And that's the way that life goes, is that sometimes you have to go through all of these things to realize like what you truly want in life. So let's take a deep dive into all the lessons that I learned. Lesson number 1, sometimes you have to get what you thought you wanted to realize it's not actually what you wanted. So this has happened to me several times. When I wanted to pursue acting, so the first time I quit accounting, it was something that was always on my heart. I always wanted to be an actress since I was a child. and I lived in Austin at the time, and there was a big acting scene, so it was easy for me to pursue. I took classes and I started going on auditions, and I also did a lot of background work. Like I've been in several shows. Like I got to work on Fear the Walking Dead as a zombie, and I got to see what it was like to like work on a film set and be around like these big producers and go on auditions and all of that. And that didn't work out because it wasn't making enough money. I wasn't used to making an actor's salary compared to like an accounting salary. And at that time, I still wanted to keep traveling. So that's why I went back to work. It also happened again when I quit the second time and wanted to pursue more of social media. So I wanted to do like UGC. And if you don't know what UGC is, it is user generated content where you make content, but it goes on other people's pages. So say I'm making content for Snickers candy bar, right? Instead of putting those videos on my page, I make them on behalf of Snickers, and then Snickers runs it on their page. So I'm making content for other brands and they run on their pages. So I tried that, I dabbled in it, and I did make some money, but there's a lot of hustle that goes into it. And then I also thought I wanted to be a social media manager. I got the opportunity to do that as well. And again, I did not like that. This also happened in my accounting career. I had worked a senior accountant position from 2019 to 2022, and in the middle of that job I was like, this is way too stressful, I don't want to do this. Like, I'll take a pay cut, I'll take a step down so I don't have to work this stressful life anymore. Okay, well, when I went back to work to accounting in 2023, that's exactly what I did. I took a pay cut and I took a step down, and that was a mistake. So in all of these instances, I had to get what I thought I wanted to realize that it wasn't what I wanted. But now I know I'll never wonder for the rest of my life like what it could have been if I would have tried acting, right? I tried acting and I don't like the hustle behind it, going on auditions and putting myself out there. The same thing with social media. Like I didn't like UGC. I didn't like being a social media manager because I don't want to make content for anybody else. I only want to make content for myself, and that's what this channel is. And also, when I took a step down in accounting, yes, it was easier work and my mental health did better, but then a whole nother set of issues came, like not making enough money. I thought those were the things that I wanted, and it turns out that they weren't. All of these instances are a nice segue into lesson number 2, which is you have to take a chance on something that you've always wanted to do. And if it works out, great. And if it doesn't, you either pivot or go back to what you know. I'd always wanted to try acting. I always wanted to do social media for other people. I wanted to take a step down in accounting. Those were all things I wanted to do. They were on my heart. I had to do it. So I did it. And in all 3 of those instances, none of it worked out. But that's okay. I don't see myself as like a loser or a failure. Like, oh, I couldn't make it as an actress. I'm okay. I took a chance on something. It didn't work out, so I pivot, right? I tried something different. Acting didn't work out. The next creative thing I thought of was, let me do UGC. Let me be a social media manager. Okay, that didn't work out. In all of these instances, I came back to accounting. So I came back to what I know. And who knows, there may be something down the line of a different avenue that I want to take, that I want to try, but I'm going to go about that a little bit different. All this to say is that it's okay to try something that you've always wanted to do. And if it doesn't work out, don't see yourself as a failure. Just trust that it was meant to happen and you have more clarity on what you do or don't want to do moving forward. Lesson number 3, find the path of least resistance to making money. And all of these times that I quit and went and tried something new, yes, I was making money. So I made money as an actress. Yes, I made money as a UGC creator and social media manager. And I did make money when I took a step down in accounting from a senior accountant to a staff accountant. However, there was a lot of resistance. There was a lot of hustle mentality, and there was just a lot of struggle behind it. Like none of those paths was the least resistance for me to make money. I don't like hustling. When it comes to acting and social media, I did not like the hustle aspect of it. I don't like having to submit myself for auditions and then waiting for a job to come through. I didn't like having to submit myself to these brands to make UGC on behalf of them. Sometimes a job pays a lot and then sometimes a job pays nothing. Like, I don't like the hustle of it. I don't want to run after and chase money. I'm thankful that I was able to make money in both of these endeavors. And I know that if I stuck to it and put my heart and soul into it, I could have made a shit ton more money. But like, I don't like the hustle of it. I don't want to run after money. And the reason why I keep coming back to accounting every time I quit is because I found like that's the path of least resistance for me of making money. I have a degree in accounting, and at this point now, it's 2025 now, I have 10 years of accounting experience. Every time I quit, it's always easy for me to get a job right away. When I quit in 2018 and when went back to work in 2019, it took me 2 weeks to get a job. It did not matter that I took a whole year off work. I was honest in those interviews too. I was like, I took a year off to travel the world because I did. To me, accounting is a path of least resistance to making money. So I'm going to stick with this for now. And to keep talking about money, this leads to lesson number 4, which is you have to respect the money that you earn now in order to make more later. One of the hardest things that I really had to learn were my finances. I don't have any kids, I don't have a mortgage, and when I quit the first time I was 28 and I'm 35 now. So it takes people a little bit longer in life to learn how to manage their finances. So if that's you, don't be ashamed, don't be embarrassed, because that is me. Okay, it took me a long time to learn and respect money. For those of you that learn early on in life, good for you, that's amazing. But I'm 35 and I'm just now figuring out how to be responsible and respectful with my money. I've made a lot of money mistakes up until recently. Up until these last couple years, I would make money and just spend it. Credit cards were my best friend at one point because I always knew I was going to pay it back, and I did. Every time I quit, I would have some money saved up and then I would run out of money, get into debt because I'm like, well, I want to keep traveling or I want to keep doing this. And the things that I was doing, like acting or UGC, was making me money, but it wasn't making me travel the world money. And I was like, it's fine, I'll get a job again, it doesn't matter. So that's how I lived mentally for a while. And I've been in and out of debt so many times. Like, it was like this really vicious, ugly, disgusting cycle. And that's why it was a cycle, because I wasn't learning, I wasn't respecting money, I wasn't respecting the value of a dollar. And every dollar that I made, I treated it like, oh, it's gonna come back. And it always does, but I just had to learn to manage my finances. And it wasn't until with my newest job that I got a massive jump in pay. And it's because I finally learned to respect money. And this kind of goes back to me taking a step down in title and pay to a staff accountant position, because I needed to learn a huge lesson in there, and that was to respect money. I was living in Miami. That's a very expensive city, and I struggled. It was rough for me to be on this low paying salary, paying for this apartment in Miami and still trying to travel the world. And I wasn't paying off my previous debt. Like, it was just messy. Me taking that low paying job gave me the tools necessary to finally learn to live within my means and stop just throwing everything on a credit card and having the attitude of, oh, I'll pay it off, because I don't want to keep living in that vicious cycle. Because I finally respected what I was making at that point in time, it led me to be able to handle more. Because how are you going to be able to handle multiple six figures if you don't even know how to live off of $70,000? I had to show the universe that I was capable of making six figures. Respect the money that you make now in order for you to make more later. Lesson number 5, use your job as a means to an end to follow your dreams. So how am I using my 9 to 5 to be able to follow my dreams? My passion is traveling the world, going to music festivals. I dance across the globe, one festival at a time. Right now, that is my biggest passion. That is my love. And my dream is to go to as many festivals around the globe as I possibly can. So how am I using my job to fulfill that dream? For one, the money. Accounting for me is my quickest and easiest and path of least resistance of making money. And I'm finally at a point in accounting that I make a lot of money. I've always made pretty good money in this career, but it wasn't until recently where it took like a massive jump in pay. So I've always been able to fund my lifestyle to a certain extent. I've always had these jobs with PTO. It's always helped me be able to pursue that dream. And taking on another job in the accounting field is really gonna push that forward. So my new job, I step back into a senior accountant role. I'm making a significant amount of money. I have more PTO than I have had at my last couple of jobs. And for me, like, I don't want to be a digital nomad. Like, I don't want to travel full time. That's something I've never wanted to do. I've traveled to 20 something different countries across 6 different continents. And of the places that I've been to, none of them ever made me want to live there. So that's why I'm okay still having like an accounting job and then just traveling with my PTO as I can. And just in case you don't know what PTO is, it's paid time off. I'm using my 9 to 5 in corporate America to fund my dreams, right? Because I'm using the money that I get as a senior accountant. I'm using my paid time off to pay for me essentially to go and travel these places. I get it, as an entrepreneur, you have an abundance of time and money. You can take these trips whenever you want, right? Good for you. But if you have to work a 9 to 5, there's still a way for you to pursue your dreams. because I mentioned entrepreneurship. That'll go into lesson number 6, which is entrepreneurship isn't for everybody and what are the benefits of 9 to 5. I have quit accounting and I've tried these other creative pursuits that could have led to entrepreneurship, could have essentially led to me having my own business. And some people like that. And what I learned throughout all of this was I don't like that. I don't like the hustle and of chasing after money or trying to figure where my next dollar is going to come from. Like, that just wasn't for me. Not everybody wants to grind like that, and that is okay. The benefits of a 9 to 5 are like you have your steady paycheck every 2 weeks. I know exactly how much I'm going to get because I'm a salaried employee. If I take time off, that's paid for. So I get paid to take vacations. I know every 2 weeks that paycheck's going to come in. I'm not wondering what this acting job's going to pay or how much I can make this week off of social media or this UGC project, whatever. I also get health insurance benefits. I get a 401k plan. Right now, I'm working a fully remote job. I'm sorry if you have to work in an office, but I don't. So to me, that is a huge benefit. And that still comes with a lot of flexibility. Some people are like, I don't like the 9 to 5 life because there's no flexibility in it. Well, like maybe you're just in the wrong one. Like, it took me 5 different corporate jobs to feel like I finally found the right one. And that'll lead me into my final lesson number 7, which is if you have to work for somebody else, a 9 to 5, corporate America, whatever it is, make sure that it's aligned with you, your values, your beliefs, your life. And I truly feel like I finally found that in corporate America. The current job I have now as a senior accountant is amazing. Even though I just started it, like, I have such good feelings. This company's already showing me that I made the right choice. So I'm finally making the money that is aligned with me and where I'm at in life. I have 4 weeks of PTO, and it so gives me what I need to travel the world. I work in a fully remote environment, so that helps me when I want to go to like United States festivals. When I travel anywhere inside the United States, I don't take any PTO, right? I fly either at night, so I'm not missing work, or early mornings, on the weekends, and I can work anywhere. So if I was working in an office job, I wouldn't be able, like, I'd have to take off Friday to go to a festival in a different state, right? But I don't have to do that. This fully remote job is aligned with me and my schedule, so I can take my laptop and work anywhere on a festival weekend. And these 3 things that I just talked about, so the compensation, the PTO, and the remote flexibility, were all core things that I looked for in finding this job. I needed the right amount of PTO, and there was a certain amount of money that I wasn't willing to settle less for, so I got the money that I needed. And I wanted a fully remote job. Who the hell wants to work in an office anymore? Not me. These core things are aligned with me, my lifestyle, and they allow me to still pursue my dreams of traveling the world and dancing across the globe, one festival at a time. So when it comes to you finding a job, whether it's corporate America or some other thing, just make sure that it aligns with you. Come up with a few non-negotiables and wait for that job to come. This job did not come overnight. I said at one point that accounting jobs were easy for me to get. This one did not come so easy, but I'm glad I waited out for it. I had several other interviews with other companies and I had other opportunities to pursue, but I listened to my intuition, I listened to my gut, and I listened to the resistance that was coming up in all of these situations. I'm like, this job just isn't for me, or I don't like this one. I didn't like the interview of this one, or this doesn't sound right. I don't want to work in a hybrid. This one doesn't make enough money. This one doesn't have enough PTO. If it had 2 of the things, but not one, I was like, this isn't right. I'm not going to settle. I waited for a job that met all 3 of my criteria and also the type of job that it is. I'm not going to go into detail, but the mission behind this company is so meaningful, and that's truly going to help me keep my head in the game because I got everything I want, and also I'm accounting for such an amazing purpose. So as you can see, I learned a lot of lessons over 6 years, and that's okay. It took the time that it needed to take for me to finally get to where I'm at today, and I'm grateful. I have a newfound appreciation for my career and my degree. I'm gonna make it worthwhile. While I have to do accounting, I'm gonna do it right. You too can live like me if you want. If you are the girl boss or the entrepreneur that wants to own their own business, go ahead. More power to you. That is amazing. I respect your hustle and I respect your drive. At this point in my life, that is not for me. And if you're on the other side of the spectrum that is working a 9 to 5, but you hear all this chatter about how shitty 9 to 5s are, if you like it and you have a job that works for you, amazing. Use it to your benefit. Use it as a means to an end to live the life of your dreams. And if you are miserable in your current job, whether it's a 9 to 5 or something else, find something else that's more aligned and don't settle for anything else. Like, mental health is important. If you are being like belittled or degraded, or you just can't hack your current job, then quit. But don't quit without finding another one, okay? Like, I get mental health is important, but I went through worse episodes when I wasn't making enough money. I was like, I would rather take the stress of a job that I don't like with the paycheck than be without a job and wondering where the hell I'm gonna get my next dollar from. So there are worse feelings than your job's mental health, but you can absolutely find something else. Don't stick it out and just wait for the right one to come along. And because of this job that is so aligned with me, my 9 to 5, there are plenty of festivals that we're going to this year. And if you want to know, I've already made a video on my 2025 bucket list of where all the festivals I want to go to and the places I want to travel to around the world. So go ahead and give that a watch. See you guys in the next video.